Alright, hopefully for the last time I will make this recording. Alright, number one, I'm going to show you how to use your calculator to do these radicals. So if you're not very good with doing it by hand, you do it in the calculator. You would plug in the square root of 128. You get a decimal. And then you would plug in the answers that they give you. 2 square root of 8. Oops. 2 square root of 8. And then if you get the same decimal, that could possibly be your answer. But since we don't, you cross it out. It definitely won't be 8. Then if you plug in B and C, you actually end up with the same decimal. So there's my B. See how I get 11? And then if I plug in 2 square roots of 32, oops, 2 square roots of 32, I also get that 11.3137. So those could be my answers. For sure, A, B, D is not it. I already typed it in. I don't want to do it again. I've done it like a million times. This is recording. So it could be B and it could be C. Whichever has the smallest radical inside number, then that's inside the radical, then that's our answer. Okay? 2. If I want to do number 2, by hand we would do the FOIL method or rainbow method. In the calculator, you would open a graph. You would graph the binomial, parentheses, 3x squared minus 5, then x plus 2. Okay? Oh, excuse me, wow. I mean, not 3x squared, just 3x. Okay. Enter and you graph it and you get that parabola. Then you would graph all your answers and see which one gives you the same parabola. The one that graphs on top, I believe the answer is h. So I'm going to type in h, 3x squared plus x minus 10. And when I hit enter, my parabola changed from blue to red because that is our answer. So our answer is h. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. Can I get the next one? I hope it doesn't kick me out. Alright, number 3. Number 3, it asks you for the area of a square. That's 7. A to the 4 is a side. So you can do either side times side because the square has the same dimensions and area is length times width. So 7 times 7 is 49. A to the 4 times a to the 4. You add their exponents, so it would be 8. So it's the only one that has 8 to the 8. Or you could write it as the side squared like they have it here. Or when I have one exponent outside and one exponent inside, you multiply the exponents. So that's 8 and 16. But 7 also has to be raised to the 2. And 7 squared is 49. And you get the same answer. On number 4, if I want to use a calculator, I would open a new graph. Do not plug in a b. You put x instead of b. So b squared, so x squared minus 7b, so minus 7x minus 18. Then you would graph it. Again, I want to graph all the answer choices and see which one graphs on top. I believe the answer is J, so let's hit tab and plug that in. Parentheses x plus 2, parentheses b. Not b, excuse me, x. It has to be x because the b won't work. Minus 9. Make sure you use minus and not negative because then it'll be wrong. And see how I graphed right on top of it? It changed colors, so the answer is J. Let's look at number 5. Number 5, you have to simplify the expression. Well, there's nothing in front of this parentheses, and I can just remove them. Why? Because this is subtraction. It's not multiplication, so I could just remove the parentheses, but the second set of parentheses has a minus, so we have to distribute a -1. So that's -3a squared minus 10, 11 plus 17, because that -1 will switch all the signs to the opposite. Then you combine like terms, so you look at it. My like terms here would be 4a and minus 3a, which will give me 1. But all of these have a 1, so that doesn't help me. Then let's look at the y's. -10 and 2 will give me -8. And this is the only one that has -8. And then 11 and 17 will give me a 28. Number 6. All right, I'm going to simplify the fraction first. The numbers don't simplify, so let's just look at the variables. When you divide, you subtract their exponents, so that's going to be 3 minus 1, and then 1 minus a negative 6. 1 minus a negative 6 will change to, 1 minus a negative 6 will change to 1 plus 6 because you have minus a negative. I don't like this yellow. So it's going to be 1 plus 6, so it's y to the 7. Okay, that simplifies the first fraction. Let's do the second fraction. All right, so the second fraction, that's just a 4, but you have x to the 2 and x to the 6. You multiply the variables, so that'll be a 12. Okay, then you have y to the 9, and I'm going to leave it on the 9 on the bottom for now. If I put them together, you have 7 and 4 on the top, so that'll be multiplying. You have 2 on the bottom and y to the 9 on the bottom. But then I have 2 x's, and if I'm multiplying the x's, you add their exponents. Okay, but I also have a y to the 7 on the top, and I almost forgot it. Well, these will still combine, and I would have to subtract them, and I will end up with a negative 2, right? So this will be x to the 14, y to the negative 2, and 28 divided by 2 is 14. So the only one that moves down is this negative, so my answer is 14, x to the 14, y to the positive 2. Once I move it down, then you make it positive, so our answer is H. Almost done. Let me look at number 7. Okay, number 7, I can't move it down, but let's just work it down here. All right, number 7, it says, which expression is the quotient of x squared plus 2x minus 48 and x plus 8? Really, guys, all you have to do is factor. One of your factors is already given, so you're going to look at the 48 and factor it, but we know one of those factors would be x plus 8, right? Well, the only other number that multiplies to give you 48 times 8 would be 6. So you know your answer has to have a 6, and then when you multiply, you need to give me a negative 48, so it has to be a negative 6. So when I multiply by positive 8, I get the answer. All right, if I wanted to do this in the calculator, I would open a graph. I would start with x squared plus 2x minus 48, graph it. And then I already know one of my factors. I'm going to put parentheses x plus 8. And I would plug in my answer choice A. I would put x plus 24 and check out if it's right or not. I would hit enter. I know the answer is already B, so I know this is not going to work. So I'm going to hit tab and click up. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to delete that x plus 24. And I'm going to put the next one, x minus 6. And we know that one's right because the graph's right on top of it. So, yep. All right, this is it. I wanted to show you some shortcuts in the calculator. Good luck.